After the feast, more or less, came the speech. Most of the company were, however, now in a tolerant mood, at that delightful stage which they called filling up the corners. They were sipping their favorite drinks and nibbling at their favorite dainties, and their fears were forgotten. They were prepared to listen to anything and to cheer at every full stop. Filling up the corners is a really good name for what I'm about to do with this next video series, so that's what I'm going to call it. Filling up the corners. All right, here we go. Filling up the corners. We're going to start with the hunt for Gollum. Now, my goal was to make sure in every quest I complete that I did not play my first time through the progression series. I am going to use at least one card that never made it into the series. Now, for this quest, the card I'm going to be using is Strength of Will. Strength of Will costs 0. It's a spirit. Response: after you travel to a location, exhaust a spirit character to place 2 progress tokens on that location. This is actually a really good card, especially because most locations take 3 to 4 progress to clear. So if you have a single northern tracker or a snowborn scout and place 1 progress, traveling to a location and exhausting a spirit character will get rid of it. And the Wandering Took comes in the core set. The Westfold Horse Breaker comes in the Hunt for Gollum. And, you know, these guys just quest for 1, so exhausting them to place 2 progress is double what they would have just quested for. And in my opinion, it's much better than the Favor of the Lady, which is also a card I never used. Attached hero gains +1 willpower, but it costs 2 in spirit. So for 2 cost, I could also just put in the Wandering Took, and then when I travel to a location, I can exhaust Strength of Will and clear it. And in the Hunt for Gollum, there are quite a few locations that you don't want to be the active location when you come out of the travel phase. It would be nice to clear these locations and not have them active during the quest phase or the refresh phase. And because of that, I'm also bringing Legolas, so his ability places progress on the active location. I'm also bringing the Blade of Gondolin. So that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, I have very limited card pool, only 1 AP to work with here. But I'm trying to do some active location management with it. I am also bringing another card that I never had in any of my series, and it was the Song of Kings. It never made it into any of my videos. Not that it was a bad card, I just never needed it. But the Song of Kings, 1 neutral resource, gains a hero the leadership resource icon. So here's the thing. If you're going to be running leadership cards in a deck with no leadership hero, and you're counting on something like the Song of Kings to get you that leadership icon, you need to make sure you can find it. Otherwise, you'll end up with a bunch of dead cards in your hand. Now, for me, my dead cards, truly dead, if I did not have the leadership icon, is the Steward of Gondor and the Dunedain Mark. And I say that because Faramir and the Snowborn Scout could be discarded to Éowyn, and then Stand and Fight could bring them into play. So there is a way to get leadership allies on my board without having access to leadership. But these 2 attachments, completely dead unless I get Song of Kings. So I got 3 copies of that. I also have 3 copies of the Rivendell Minstrel. So when she's played from your hand, she can find a song in your deck and add it to your hand. So that's 6 cards, 6 out of 50. I'm going to do a hard mulligan. So if I don't have either of these 2 cards in my opening hand, no matter what my other cards are, I'm taking a mulligan and I'm going to try to get one. So I can guarantee I get the Song of Kings. The other way I'm increasing my odds of finding it is putting in about as much card draw as I think I can. So Bilbo is going to guarantee me an extra card every round with his ability. The first player draws 1 additional card in the resource phase, and then 2 copies of Gleowine. So between Bilbo drawing me the extra card and then hopefully, if I did not grab the Rivendell Minstrel and I did not get the Song of Kings, well then I hope I got Gleowine, because I mean now we're talking 8 out of my 50 cards. So I should have like one of these 3 things, and I should be able to be drawing lots of cards and hopefully find what I need. So the last thing I want to talk about is Éowyn's ability, discarding the card to get the willpower boost. The Hunt for Gollum has a mechanic where you want to try to be really precise with your questing. And so she allows you to adjust your willpower by 1 more after you reveal cards, which is very good. I mean, you can add the willpower boost before you reveal the card, but there is an action window after cards are revealed, and that can let you do some exact questing. When we play the quest, I'll get into this in more detail. But I would say if you were playing with the new core set, the revised core set, and you have 3 copies of everything, when you're playing the Hunt for Gollum, I would run 3 copies of Hennemarth. It's very, very good in that first stage to know exactly what you're questing against. All right, let's get to the game. All right, here we go. Let's fill in those corners. The Hunt for Gollum, pretty simple. Reveal 1 encounter card from the encounter deck per player. Add it to staging area, that old standby. You got to give the encounter deck a shuffle first, and we're going to give the player deck a shuffle and draw our opening hand. You draw your hand before you do any sort of encounter deck setup. So let's do that. Now remember, if you watch the deck building part of this video, which I hope you did, I'm really looking for anything that'll help me find the Song of Kings, because I'm running some leadership cards, and this is my best chance of making sure I can get that Song of Kings into my hand. So here we go. Going to take a hard mulligan. Okay, Horn of Gondor, great. Steward, great. There's the new card I put in. Okay, some trickery and see. I mean, what a great hand. I got the Horn of Gondor and Unexpected Courage, both one-ofs, but nothing to help me play any leadership cards, including that really nice Steward. So going to shuffle it away. When you say you're going to do a hard mulligan, you got to do it. I mean, if you've made that decision while you were building your deck that there is a card you need to find in that opening hand, you got to take the hard mulligan, folks. All right, let's see. Here we go. 6 cards incoming. All right, Strider's Path. Hennemarth, that's nice. An Axe Hand, Quick Strike, always good. Stand and Fight, and Steward. Jeez. If I had known this was the hand I was going to draw, I would have kept the other one. The other one was a lot better, but I do like Hennemarth. I really do. All right, 27 starting threat. And oh boy, okay, here we go. The Hunt for Gollum isn't pulling its punches. It's giving us the biggest baddie in the deck. There's a whole bunch of these guys in here. And they get more dangerous if a clue is in play, and that includes if the clue is guarded on something. All right, that token's going to remind me to draw 2 cards, a Dunedain Mark and a Strider's Path. All right. We need to find that Song of Kings. Okay, I could play Hennemarth. He'd let me see what's coming. That's actually not a bad idea, because Hennemarth is really good in this quest. Because, let's take a look at 1B, 8 progress needed, forced. After the players quest successfully, the first player looks at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, reveal and add one of those cards to the staging area, and discard the other 2 cards. Let's talk about real quick what it means to quest successfully. According to the LOTR LCG questcompanion.gamersdungeon.net, Rule 226 is questing successfully, and the physical placement of progress tokens are 2 separate game occurrences that happen in sequence during the quest resolution step. As soon as the players determine the total committed willpower is greater than the total threat in the staging area, they are considered to have quested successfully. So we're going to stop there. That is when we would look at the top 3 cards and pick one, because that is when we have quested successfully. It's when you do the math. As you can see, any forced or passive effects initiated by questing successfully resolve before physically placing progress tokens. Final thing I want to mention, if the combined committed willpower score is equal to the threat score in the staging area, the players have not quested successfully or unsuccessfully. No progress tokens are placed. The players do not increase their dials. So questing even means we did not quest successfully. All right, back with the game now that we're done with those nerdy rules. So Hennemarth is great because I can really predict what's going to be revealed, most likely, and then quest exactly for what I need. So in this case, it's a 2-threat Eves of Mirkwood, which means there's going to be 4 threat in staging. So if I just sent Eowyn, we are going to be 4 against 4, and we have not quested successfully or unsuccessfully. So I don't need to add another card, which is really great, especially on turn 1. I don't want 2 cards entering the staging area. So we will just travel to the Eves of Mirkwood. Now I can't cancel encounter card effects, and I'm not going to engage that guy. We are going to go into round 2, and basically my strategy is just turtle for a while, build up my board state, grab a single clue, and then advance to the final stage of the game and win that very same round. All right, let's draw 2 cards. That token is definitely reminding that Bilbo's in play. Song of Kings in hand. There we go. So I had 3 copies of that and 3 copies of the Minstrel that would help me find it. So odds are pretty good you're going to see it when you have Bilbo drawing you an extra card every round. Alright, so somebody can get the leadership icon, and I have 2 resources on people, so that's really great. So I'm going to put it on Eowyn and spend a tactics resource to do that. So now Eowyn can spend her resources as leadership. Steward of Gondor is going to go on her as well. I don't have many leadership cards, but I do have some expensive spirit ones, so it just makes sense that she should get the additional resources. So exhausting Steward, I get 2 spirit resources right back. I have stand and fight if I want to discard something and pull it back out of my discard pile. Let's see, Hennemarth's going to take a peek. Ooh, okay, we got Old Wives' Tales. This art is creepy with the gossip trait. And we have to discard 1 resource from each hero's resource pool. Any hero that did not discard a resource has to be exhausted. Well, it's nice to know that card is coming because I can try to minimize the damage it's going to do, but unfortunately I just don't have anything I can spend some of my resources on. Well, I hate losing resources. Everybody knows how much I hate treacheries that make me lose resources. I'm looking at you, swarm of bats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trigger Eowyn's ability here in the planning phase, and I'm going to discard a ally that is the veteran axe hand. Then I'm going to play stand and fight, and I'm going to pull that ally out of my discard pile by spending her 2 resources. So at least I spent some of my resources. Just a shame I can't spend the lore or tactics resources. Alright, so do I want to quest successfully? Not really. So I'm going to just quest even again. I'm just going to send Bilbo and Legolas. It's going to be 2 against 2, and then we don't make any progress, and then I have to exhaust Eowyn because she didn't discard any resources. I lost my lore, I lost my tactics, and I lost the second round. We're going into the third. So here we go. Resources gained. I can't cancel anything because of the active location. That token once again reminded me. I would be drawing 1 card if it wasn't for that token. Hey, speaking of drawing cards, Gleowine and Radagast Cunning. Now it really stinks that I just lost that lore resource because I could have played Gleowine right now. Alright, what's Hennemarth see? Hennemarth says it's a 3 threat location, the East Bank. Well, it's the active location, allies cost 1 more. Now this would be nice to just travel to and clear on the same round. And that's where Strider's Path comes in, because when it gets revealed, I can just travel there, and then any progress I make will clear it. And I would move the 2 threat active location back into staging. That's not a bad idea. I might be doing that. Let's see if I can figure out the math. Okay, what do I want to do with these resources? I'm not losing them this round. I think I'm going to drop my threat by 6, play the Gladrium's Greeting. So there are treacheries in this encounter set that hit you hard if you're over 35 threat. So let's drop my threat back down to 23. That seems pretty good. And I can do exact questing. I know what I'm going to be revealing. And I also have some tricks up my sleeves. So Eowyn for 4, Bilbo for 1. We're going to be 5 against 5 by revealing that. I am going to play Strider's Path. So after the location is revealed, we're going to immediately travel there, swapping locations. So now there's 1 less threat in staging. So we have made a single progress. I could discard a card to make it 1 more progress, but there's really no point because I won't clear the active. But before we place the progress, quested successfully. So now I need to look at the top 3 cards and add 1 to the staging area, revealing it as well. So I'd have to reveal anything. So like Surge, that's not good. I don't want anything to Surge. A 2 threat location. Meh. Okay, here's perfect. The Goblin Town Scavengers. So I've already done the math. I know I've made 1 progress. So I'm going to discard the top card of my deck. It's, bummer. It's a Horn of Gondor. I have a way to get it back, but the actual effect of discarding that card does nothing because I've already done the math and determined I was placing 1 progress. Then I do the effect on the quest card. Alright, we're getting attacked for 1. This says remove a progress from the current quest. No problem. I haven't placed a progress on the quest yet. And then, let's see, the axe hand took no damage. Legolas can kill this guy. I trigger his ability and place 2 progress on the active, getting rid of it. So that worked out nice. I didn't know if I was going to be able to clear that active. I was hoping I was going to reveal a little wimpy enemy to kill. So that worked out well. If I had to keep that as my active, I would have just had to suffer through the effect. Okay, another Steward and Feint. Feint is good with that enemy up there because I'd really like to kill it. And what's coming? We have an Evil Storm. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each character if your threat is 35 or higher. Perfect! I don't have to worry about that at all. All right, what do I want to do here? I am going to get the resources from Steward, and I can't quite afford Gleowine yet, but I can put Dunedain Mark on Legolas. So he's going to get +1 attack. So that's another good reason to get my leadership running. I can add some attack to Legolas. It is a shame that I can't run Tactics Heroes and have attachments that just give a blanket +1. It's pretty tough to consistently boost your attack power in the early days of this game. Okay, so Legolas is now attacking for 4. That seems pretty good. I'm not revealing any threat, so the question is, do I want to quest successfully or not? Do I want to start placing progress? Honestly, there's no reason to. There really isn't. I know if you're playing this game, you're like, oh man, I want to get going, but if you don't have to, just build. So I'm going to quest for 4 against 4. We're going to travel. Now I can't cancel encounter cards, and I'm not going to engage that guy. There's no reason to yet. So let's just go into the next round. I want to make sure I can engage him and then hopefully kill him with a quick strike the round after I engage him. Okay, we got a Test of Will and Song of Kings. Can't do Test of Will because of the active location. Hennemarth is going to take a peek after I collect more resources. I can get Gleowine in. That seems good as well. All right, what are we up against now? It's going to be another Treachery. Disaster. Doomed One. Surge. When revealed, remove all progress tokens from all Riverland locations. You know, this quest has some really weird treacheries that have to do with Riverland stuff. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to be up against because it's going to surge, so we only have a little bit of information there. Let's play Gleowine. You exhaust Gleowine to draw a card. Then we get a Minstrel, which will let us find a Song of Kings, which we don't need. It is 2 willpower, though. Great target for stand and fight once you get Steward of Gondor on Éowyn, because she's pumping out those resources. So Bilbo might have to save up for a little bit. Okay, so if I send Éowyn for 4, we are currently 4 against 2. All right, let's do it. Doomed One, and then now it surges into, okay, Massing at Night, that's a surge as well. And then we get, okay, another Eves of Mirkwood. No big deal. So right now we are 4 against 4. So I am questing even, and I don't have to have another card come out. If I boost Éowyn's willpower, I would. So let's not do that. Let's engage these guys. They're attacking for 2. They would attack for 4 if a clue was in play. It's 2 against 2. There is no shadow. Thank you, Bilbo. And then Legolas swings for 4, and the veteran axe hand will swing for 2. So that means we're going to place 4 out of the 6 damage. Next round, I can use a quick strike and kill him. So we're going to be doing that. All right, let's go into the next round. Drawing 2 cards with Bilbo, and we get, hey, there's Stand and Fight. Perfect. Ooh, and the Wandering Took. Okay, great. So I was really getting nervous that I wasn't drawing any spirit cards. So now I got some, and wow, another Hunters from Mordor coming. So this quest isn't messing around with me. It can throw a little punch at you now and then, and I like that. That's good. It's giving me a challenge. All right, Gleowine says, let's get another Minstrel. Why not? Okay, I got lots of spirit resources. We need to spend these suckers. So a Took is going to wander in. I can quest with him for 1, or he can exhaust because he's a spirit character to that event. And I think that's going to be it, because I have some combat I need to worry about. So I am going to just quest for 4. It's 4 against 4. I'm fine with that. And then, yeah, right into combat. He's attacking for 2. And once again, Bilbo will defend. I could engage that other one and quick strike this one, but I don't want to spend all of my tactics events if I don't have to. I'm kind of playing it safe here. So let's see. Okay, no shadow there, so we were fine. And then Legolas can kill this guy, and we're going to be able to place 2 progress, which will clear the Eves of Mirkwood. So I think I was just playing it a little safe. I just didn't want to have that guy engaged with me. Then we get a clue, and now he's attacking for 4. Next round, I mean. So I'd rather keep him up in staging and just deal with these guys one at a time. Okay, well, we're not going to have to worry about getting engaged on purpose for quite a while because we got another greeting, and then we also got a second quick strike. So the advantage of having Bilbo and Gleowine is I'm drawing 3 cards around. So you're going to see a lot of your cards. All right, speaking of Gleowine, there we go. All right, the Hammersmith, that's good. He's coming in. So the Hammersmith comes in. If you play him from your hand, he grabs your topmost attachment. My topmost attachment was the Horn of Gondor, so if a character is destroyed, the attached hero gains a resource, so that's how Bilbo's going to gain some resources. And another Eves of Mirkwood. My goodness, it's Eves like crazy. We're heavy on Eves, and I make a really stupid mistake and lose 2 resources instead of gaining them with Steward. All right, that's a new one. We know what we're going to be up against. It's going to be 6. Do I want to make progress and have a 4th encounter card? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I think I can handle pretty much anything right now. So I am going to send a total of 7. Like I said, we are up against 6 because I'm not really questing for a lot, so I need to just kind of start trying to move. And then I can discard a card to boost my willpower by 1 more, so I'm going to discard the Minstrel since I have Stand and Fight in my hand. So the Minstrel is going into my discard pile. So we're going to make 2 progress, but before I place it, we have to do the look at the top 3. I am not grabbing another Hunters from Mordor. I will grab a Banks of the Anduin. That's nice. Okay, so Banks of the Anduin will be added to the staging area. Let's travel there. Let's engage this other Hunters from Mordor, attacking for 2. And, let's feign it. I don't want to risk a weird shadow or anything. Just keep playing it safe because I can. And then once again, I can attack for 6. And this guy will be 2 hit points from death. And I have another quick strike, so it's really just the same thing. I got a good little combo going there. All right, let's go into the next round. No shadow. Okay. I'm really pretty much all set. The only thing I'm missing is maybe Faramir would be nice, just to get a massive willpower push. So it might take me a little bit to get through the final stages, but we're in a good place. We're in a good place here. All right, 2 cards coming. Another Hammersmith, and then there's the event that I added to this deck that I never used at any point in my series. Finally, a clue. I mean, that's one of the other reasons you kind of keep stalling. You got to find a clue at some point. Okay, so that boosts the Hunters of Mordor when that enters play. Gleowine says, let's draw a card. Yep. See, drawing all the cards, you can get the events, and you have the events handy. So that's really nice. Okay, I want to make some progress. So we are going to play Stand and Fight, and I am going to stand the Minstrel. Now, she says when she's played from your hand, she gets to look for a song. So I'm not playing her from my hand. Stand and Fight played her from my discard pile. But it's 2 willpower on the table, so that's excellent. And Steward is going to give me some more resources back. And I don't know what I'm going to be up against because the clue is going to be guarded. So let's see. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I reveal the clue, and then it's guarded by some little misty mountain goblins. Okay, no problem. So we have made 2 progress at the moment. If I discard a card, we can clear the Banks of the Anduin. And the card I'm going to discard is the Song of Kings. I don't need it. Okay, so we have made 3 progress. Now we look at the top 3 cards. Easy to forget the order of operations here. Wow, another Hunters from Mordor, another Hunters from Mordor. There's a lot of them in this deck. And then a 2-threat River Ningler. It removes progress while it's the active location. Okay, so we clear the Banks of the Anduin. When that gets explored, it goes back on top of the encounter deck. We're going to travel to the Eves of Mirkwood. I'm going to be able to explore it with Legolas. That's why I didn't need to keep the Wandering Took ready. And we got 2 attacks coming, but I am not concerned at all. So the Hunters from Mordor would be attacking for 4, but I'm going to play Quick Strike and attack it before it attacks me with Legolas. So that will be the final damage dealt. And then Legolas will place 2 progress with his ability and clear the active location. So that's nice. I can cancel encounter cards now. And now we got some little misty mountain goblins attacking. It's 2 against 2, no shadow. And then they remove a progress when they attack. And I only can swing back with my veteran axe hand for 2 and deal 1 damage to them. That's all right. All right, let's go into the next round. All right, things are looking good. Got a clue ready to be grabbed. We are just about ready to fly through, and Faramir decides to show up. Perfect. You have shown your quality, sir. The very highest. All right. Hendemarth is going to take a peek. The old Ford, X threat, where X is the number of allies in play. Oh, this is great. I can show you why location management is so key for this quest. So this is going to work out really good. Okay, let's figure out what I can do to try to get my willpower up so I can move on to stage 2. Let's draw another card thanks to Glaiwine. Blade of Gondolin. Okay, even more location management. And now I'm going to be playing a bunch of leadership cards. So you might be thinking I got extremely lucky with Hennemarth coming out right away. And, well, I mean, I did. And if you have multiple copies of Hennemarth, I would definitely put 3 in a deck for this quest. And any quest that basically punishes you based on how you quest, because exact questing is very powerful. But honestly, if I didn't have Hennemarth, I would have still quested about the same. Like, if you weigh the benefit risk type thing where underquesting might raise your threat by 1 or 2 versus adding a whole nother encounter card into the game by questing successfully, sometimes it's just better to take the risk, quest for the minimum you think you would need, and then hopefully you don't quest successfully and you don't have to reveal another card, and then quest successfully when you can handle it, and just quest successfully all at once. So that's what I'm doing here. So Snowburn Scout came in, placed a progress. Faramir's in, so he can exhaust and boost everybody's willpower. And I know exactly how much threat I'm going to have to be questing against. It's going to be 4. I know I need to make 7 progress, so as long as I quested for at least 11, I'm good. Okay, we reveal the Old Ford, and I'm going to play Strider's Path. And that says after a location is revealed from the encounter deck, immediately travel there without resolving the travel effect. If another location was currently active, return it to the staging area. So because we traveled there, we are allowed to trigger any responses that have to do with traveling. So we can play Strength of Will. Response: after you travel to a location, exhaust a spirit character to place 2 progress tokens on that location. This is a very good card for the early quests in the game, because a lot of them have 2 quest points, or maybe 3, but you can Snowburn Scout the 3rd progress on. It's a good card. It really is. So I'm going to exhaust the Wandering Took. He wandered into that ford and cleared it for me. Okay, it's 4 against, I believe I actually sent 12, but I quested successfully, so before I place the actual progress, I have to look at these 3 cards. We have another Old Ford. That's actually fine, because I can travel there, so the threat of that location isn't really a threat at all. 2A is nothing. 2B, a new terror abroad. 10 progress needed, forced. At the beginning of the quest phase, the first player looks at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck, reveal and add one of those cards to the staging area, and discard the other. Okay, so now we have to do that effect before we commit characters to the quest. We really just need to get a clue, and there's one in play. We just gotta grab it. We're gonna travel to the Old Ford. We're gonna get attacked by a Misty Mountain Goblin, and let's just keep avoiding attacks while I have the cards in hand. So I'm gonna use Quick Strike with Legolas, and Legolas will kill the Goblin, and the Shadow would have removed progress. Who cares? And then I can place 3 progress thanks to the Blade of Gondolin and Legolas's ability. We also have the clue unattached. So the clue is now up in staging to be grabbed by a questing hero. So 3 progress being placed on the quest, 2 get eaten by the active location, and 1 goes on the quest itself. 9 to go. All right, let's go into the next round. Assuming nothing terrible happens, I should be able to win in 2 turns. We draw another Blade of Gondolin and stand and fight. That's excellent. All right, Hennemarth, not really useful right now because I need to look at the 2 cards and then pick one, but then I can use Hennemarth. And we get another Snowburn Scout. Oh, that's great. Okay, so a Snowburn Scout coming in. He's going to place the 2nd progress on that Eves of Mirkwood, getting 2 threat out of staging, so that worked out great. And yeah, you know, this is core set cards plus 1 adventure pack, and this is about as much trickery as you can really do, and it's working really well. I think this is working extremely well for the cards we have. All right, Blade of Gondolin going on Legolas, so he's now going to be attacking for 5 against... No, I'm sorry, he's attacking for 6 against an orc and placing 4 progress when he does so. So that's awesome. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's put in another Erebor Hammersmith from my hand, and then that's going to pull a Song of Kings out of my discard pile because that's my topmost attachment. So that's just a card I can discard to Eowyn if I want to. And all right, quest phase. Let's see, I'm currently up against 2. We gotta look at the top 2 cards and reveal 1. Okay, we got Pursued by Shadow and a Surging Bats. Let's do Pursued by Shadow. It's gonna make me raise my threat a ton. I could actually do it, but I'm just gonna cancel it. Let's just cancel it because I have a Test of Will in hand. It wouldn't have killed me because my threat's so low. But I have a Test of Will, so let's just cancel that. Okay, now in the action window, I can take a peek with Hennemarth, and we get another Evil Storm. Okay, well, I'm glad I didn't just have my threat shoot up a bunch, because Evil Storm isn't going to affect me at all, because my threat is below 35. So I just need to make sure I'm questing for enough to place the 9 progress I need. And with Faramir and no combat coming, that's not going to be a problem at all. So Evil Storm, not very evil. And then let's just grab that clue we quested successfully. So I'm going to attach it to a questing hero. It's Eowyn. And we advance to stage 3. Easy peasy at this point. Okay, nothing here on 3A. And then on the trail, 3B. As long as we control a clue objective, we can commit characters to the quest. We need to make 8 progress. And if we hadn't had a clue, we'd have to go back to the beginning of stage 2. Okay, this should be the final round. Nothing else going on here. No additional cards being revealed or anything. So my board state as it is should be able to beat this, but I get to draw 2 more cards, get an axe hand and another mark. I can power up Legolas even more. Let's have Gleowine draw me a card. My 3rd Song of Kings. All right, no problem there. Hennemarth says, all right, a 3-threat location. So obviously we got this. So this worked really well. I think you can see that I wasn't too dependent on my leadership cards. Any leadership allies could have been pulled out of my discard pile by stand and fight. And then having 6 cards in my decks to gain me the leadership resource icon, so that would be 3 Song of Kings and 3 of the Minstrels, I think works. It works. I don't recommend it for a lot of things. I try to keep the leadership cards to a minimum if I'm doing this. But with Bilbo drawing you an additional card, and then Gleowine drawing you additional cards, you should be able to dig out a card like Song of Kings. All right, I committed every single character on the quest, and then boosted them with Faramir. So we are sending 21 against 5, and that's a victory. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to making the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.